Hi everyone, today we are going to see the right angle triangle pattern program. This is a star pattern program. So it will print a star structured right angle triangle in the output. So in the case 1, if you give a input as 4, then it will consist of 4 rows of stars uh, with right angle triangle structure. So in the case 2, if the input is 5, so it should contain 5 rows of star in a right angle triangle structure. So if the input is 0, then it should not print anything. Also, we can implement this structure in a numbers pattern also. So first we can solve this program and then move on to number pattern. Also, we need to include the failure cases, like what happen if we give the input as a negative number. So these are positive integers, right? So if the input is a negative integer, so how the program should react? So we have to check for the failure cases also. So if you want to become a developer, you have to think all the failure cases and the positive cases. So let's move on to the coding side. Okay, let's start with the coding part of the pattern. So first we need to give a scanner class for reading the input. So for that, give a scanner class, new scanner of system dot in. So it will read the input int n equal to scan dot next int of. So first we got the input, the integer for which we are going to print the pattern. So first we need to define the outer loop. So in this pattern we have two loops for printing. The outer loop refers to the number of rows and the inner loop refers to the number of stars in each row. So for that, first I need to define the outer loop, which refers to the number of rows. So I equal to 1, I less than or equal to n, I plus plus. So in this, the I value start with 1 and then it should run until it is equal to n. So if I gave 4 means it will run for 1, 2, 3 and 4. So there are 4 rows in the output. So in the inner loop, we need to give the number of stars to be printed in each loop. So for that, for int j equal to left it blank, j condition j increment part. So what should we need to give? So if it is a 1, if the input is 1, it should at least print 1 star in it. So I'm starting the inner loop with j equal to 1 and it should print the number of stars. So the number of stars is based on the ith value of the iteration. So if the I value is 1, so it is in first iteration, first row. So in the first row it will be number of stars equal to 1. So if the I value is 2, it is the second row. In the second row the number of stars equal to 2. So while you are comparing this, you can came to know that I equal to number of rows. If the I value is equal to 1, sorry, number of stars. If the I value equal to 1, then the number of stars equal to 1. If the I value equal to 3, then the number of stars in the row equal to 3. So for that, I less than or equal to, sorry, j less than or equal to I, comma j plus plus. So inside that we need to print the stars. So I'm printing the star. So let's execute it. is executed. So we can check the console, what is the output we are getting. So it is printing in a single column. So we didn't give the break, no, so it should break for each and every row, not for every stars. So I'm removing this println and then putting that new line here. Save it and execute it. So now we got the output as expected. So we need to give the new line after the each row, not after each star. So we need to give the new line statement after the inner loop. So what happens if we give n as 0? So that cases also we need to check, right? So if I'm giving 0, what is printing? It is nothing. And the execution also got terminated. So this case is working fine. If I give -1, what will be the output? So this is also printing nothing. But in cases we can know that as a programmer we can know that for -1 it won't print anything. But for a normal people they won't understand it is not printing due to some programming logic inside it. So for that we need to throw a message like the value less than 0 will not be accepted here or invalid input. So for that I give a check for if if n is less than 0, invalid input. Input should be greater than 0. We can check for 0 also. So I am giving less than or equal to 0. In the else part I am putting this entire for loop. So if I give a value as -1, it will show invalid input. Input should be greater than 0. If I give 0, it will show the same error message again. If I give 6, it will print the output. If I give 17, it will print the corresponding output. That's it.